The market and just give you the market analysis for this upcoming week. So you can see I'm gonna start with the daily time frame on the dollar index, and as you can see that the price overall is bearish, and if you do want some confluence you can add some trend lines here, and we see that price is somehow finding some resistance on this current zone or area. But I'm just gonna continue with analyzing without the zones and without trend lines, I mean to say. So the main time frame would have to be the 4-hourly time frame. Yes, at some point in time we were anticipating that price is going to come back to the zone for the daily supply zone, but as you can see we didn't really get there. But as before we even think that price is going to come back up there, we need to recognize the break of structure that has happened currently just here. That price did break structure, changing the trend from bullish to bearish, and that also on its own plays a very huge role into anticipating the move for the next week. After just creating that break of structure, we do have the supply zone up here where we're anticipating that price can pull back to before dropping to the downside, and targeting the very first demand zone that is down here, or also a possible reaction zone just down here. So then overall, if we do find more momentum to break to the downside, we will be seeing price pushing down furthermore. And I believe that would be all on the 4-hour time frame. Let's drop down to the 1-hourly and see what is price doing. As you can see, we do have a little bit of some head and shoulders here, and we're anticipating that price will also just pull back. If it doesn't get there, it might just stop run about here because of this resistance we have here before it could continue drop to the downside. And that's all on the dollar index. Let's move to the Japanese yen index. I'm gonna start on 4-hourly on this one. Overall, we were bearish. As you can see, that price was creating high and higher lows, and then it broke structure, continued to the downside, but we did break above this. But as we broke above that this level, which was our lower high, we created a new high up there, with this being our higher low, and price came back to break that higher low and started moving to the upside, and anticipated that price is going to come back to the supply zone and drop, which at the moment it hasn't really fully broken above. So one of the two things can happen: that price can, somehow continue to the upside and maybe find some resistance there and start dropping, or what could also happen is that price can just somehow react as the market opens and we find more bearish momentum with the next candle, candles forming. And that's all on the 4-hourly time frame. I think the 1 hour also is the same as the 4-hourly, where we also still have that 1H supply zone at the top there, and if price fully breaks above it, then we will see price continuing to the upside, most probably to this zone right here, I believe, to that zone right there. Let me just fix this 4-hourly supply. We're supposed to not be appearing on the 1H. Let's drop down to the 4-hourly and just fix it properly. So that is our 1H supply zone, the first one, and then the second one is just up here, hoping that the market will react. And personally, I am hoping that price does above and push it upside, and the higher it goes, then the furthermore it will drop to the downside. Let me also make this one to be visible. on 1 hour and the time frames below 1 hour. I believe that's all we have on currency pairs. Starting on daily on the dollar yen, which is USD/JPY, you can see that we did have price breaking our recent higher low and creating a new low, leaving that as our recent high and our recent low, but in a bearish type of manner. So what is it that we would like to see market doing? I'd like to see the market just correcting to the downside and was probably getting here to start pushing to the upside, but that's on daily. Let us see what the 4-hourly can and will be showing us. And as you can see, we do have a break of structure just right here where price created a higher low and we had a higher high up here, and price broke below that higher high, broke below this higher low that we had here and created a new low. So would like to see, while creating that low right here, would like to see if price is going to come back to this supply for its supply zone before it can drop to the downside. Another thing is we also are targeting this zone as well. If price does come back, most probably what could happen is price can push to the downside, react to this and come back to give us that rejection we're anticipating on the 4H supply, then drop to the downside. And that's on 4H, and I think 1H has the same thing as 4H, but then only with the fact that 1H has a supply zone at the top, a bit high up there. Let me just also fix this one, and then plot the 1H zone, and it cannot get any clearer than this one. So let us wait and see what the market will be showing us. We don't have a lot of news on the USD except for the CPI that we're gonna find on Thursday, and then a lot of news are coming on GBP, I think, and Euro. But if you do not trade any Euro pairs, then you're not supposed to get somehow scared of you, because you will not be affected. And then just also going back to the trading stuff, let us continue. And I do believe that maybe if we do add some confluence just up here, maybe we will see price coming back to the 4H rather than the 1H supply zone. As you can see that we can have price spiking before dropping to the downside, but that's only anticipating and hoping, but just have to wait and see how and where will the market react. Then we move to the next one, which is GBP USD, and the pound dollar also was moving some type of way, but we do understand now. I haven't been looking at it for quite some time, and I believe I could have somehow taken advantage of this move with not so crazy stop loss, and would be in a good opportunity or in a good trade, but it doesn't matter. So price came back to the daily demand zone just down here, but I don't really use more on the daily side for my zones. I will be dropping to the 4-hourly, and as you can see that daily was bullish and daily is still bullish. This right here is where we have our 4H demand zone where price rejected, leaving a bit of a big wick and showing that there was more buying power on it. And those that trade channels, you can see that there is a bit of a bullish falling channel, anticipating a break to the upside. But those that don't trade channels, if you trade structure or chart patterns, you can see you have an inverse head and shoulder currently about to form, this is our left shoulder, this is our head and this is our right shoulder, and we do believe that we're gonna see something like this, and price coming back either to this neckline before also pushing to the upside. But then we also have another inverse head and shoulder on 1H. As you can see, this one is very clear. But with that being said, also we do have a 1H demand zone that would anticipate that price might come back to before pushing to the upside. And I think that also correlates with the dollar index, that we're anticipating that the dollar index would push to the upside a little bit to come back to the supply zone, and this would push a little bit downside to come back to the demand zone before pushing to the upside, with dollar index pushing to the downside. So yeah, and I believe that's all on GBP USD. These two pairs are currently in a consolidating or in a ranging type of manner. You will see that price did break above this lower high, creating a new high and leaving this as a low. So if this is our new high, this is a low. In between here, price can correct up until it gets to a level where it will start pushing to the upside and creating our new higher low. But for now, we're not seeing anything happening on that one, and in fact we are getting a little bit of some too much bearish momentum. So we just have to step on the side and just wait and see what will the market be doing. And same thing with GBP JPY. Did have a break of structure, created a new high, and then from there we push to the downside. This one we might have a lot of bearish possibilities in terms of sells, and if we do break below this, then we might drop to the downside. And the reason why I'm anticipating that we might have a lot of sells on this one, because price on a weekly time frame left a bit of a wick here. It was a very big wick, and it might come back to fill it up on the 176. And if you now look at 176 on a daily, you will see it becomes a little bit of closer to this demand area. So, but we'll just have to wait and see what will price be doing. Most probably there's a huge possibility that we might not be trading this pair, and we'll just be only be looking on looking at USD JPY and GBP USD. And with that being said, enjoy the rest of the week and do trade safely. Cheers.